What's going on, humans, extraterrestrials, and ethereal beings of all kind? Welcome back to another episode of What Up, Aliens? I'm your host, Austin Kress, aka Stoney McBlaze, dude. And I don't know what clickbait topic I used to get you to click on this video, but I promise we will discuss it. It's either going to be a Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson or Zach Bryan breaking up with Brianna Chicken Fried. They're both really in the news right now, and I'm looking for some extra views. So, yeah, I'm taking on pop culture topics today. I'm wading into the public discourse and getting involved. And I've got things to say, and I am not qualified, obviously. I'm not an expert in anything. Should you be watching this? No. You should be turning it off, probably. Should I say that? No, because I'm trying to get you to keep it on. But listen, this is going to be a weird one, guys. I'm really dabbed out today, okay? I took a massive dab earlier, and I spilled coffee all over the bed and the floor and the nightstand and myself. So if you're taking dabs, it's a rookie mistake. You know, I thought my lungs had progressed. I thought I could take this full dab without coughing super intensely, and I couldn't. I coughed crazy, and the coffee was shaking like it was in an earthquake, and I spilled it everywhere. I felt terrible, and that's where we're at. So dabs make me chatty, bro. I'm gonna be chatty today, and there's things going on in the world that I'm gonna comment on, dude. I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk about stuff, all right? We can't always just not talk about what's happening, okay? We've got to get into this stuff. It's important. It's not. None of it matters. But here's the fun thing that's going on. Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson. And I know you know that. Because it's everywhere, and they were supposed to fight at one point, and then Mike Tyson got injured, and so they could no longer ulcers of the stomach, so they could not fight anymore, and so they pushed it back. But now it's happening, and it's happening on Friday. And I was watching Netflix put out like a pre-hype fight mini documentary, and you know I love a documentary, dude. I love a documentary. So obviously I was watching the 2 episodes that are available, and I'm so excited for episode 3 on Tuesday. Let's go. But there was a weird beep in my computer, and it just threw me off completely. I think it's Discord. Bro, Discord needs to stop sending so many notifications. And yeah, I know I can turn them off, but I haven't looked into it, okay? This is the first time it's come up and inconvenienced my life in a serious way. So now we'll deal with the problem. That's how I do things. I don't deal with them until it hurts too much to not deal with them. And is that a problem? Totally. But Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson. And it's going to be very interesting because obviously Mike Tyson is potentially the greatest living boxer. He might be the best one alive, and there might only be 2 guys that are better than him, and they're dead. And I don't even know if they're better because I don't really know boxing all like that. But I've seen the clips of Mike Tyson, and nobody else has clips where he's just absolutely running through people. Why is he so powerful? Hypnotizing him. He was hypnotized at a young age to be the greatest successful boxer of all time, and it worked. So usually I don't believe in hypnosis, but it clearly worked for Mike Tyson. Also, he needed to fight to change his whole life and to get him out. His hands are like my jokes. I'm trying to fight my way out of poverty by being hilarious. And, you know, some days are better than others. Not Mike Tyson never had a bad day. May have done some horrible things as a person, yeah, but as a boxer, super good at it. Super good. And now he's been on this journey of self-discovery where he's smoking impossible amounts of weed and consuming insane amounts of mushrooms. So you know he's been journeying into his darkest parts of himself and doing some healing. And also, mentally, bro, you know for a fact he just does mushrooms and thinks about fighting people. You know he has the gnarliest trips in the world, dude. He's probably already beaten Jake Paul 1,000,000 times inside of the mushroom universe. He's manifesting Jake Paul's downfall as we speak, bro. And that's terrifying to me. he's got the mind of a conqueror and the body of a warrior. So I don't know how Jake's going to stop him. Now, Jake Paul. Interesting story. Jake Paul and I are similar in the way that he got into boxing kind of the way I got into stand-up, where he was doing a lot of other stuff and then was like, "Ooh, I want to try this." Tried it, had some early kind of, had some fun with it, and then got into it. And is now like a stand-up. And everyone's like, "What? You're a stand-up?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I do stand-up. It's like my favorite thing." Jake Paul with boxing, bro. It's just like his favorite thing now. And it was crazy watching the documentary because allegedly the coach that he got, like his newest team after the loss to Tommy Fury, the decision loss, highly debated loss, I think, his whole team left him, and then he got a new trainer, and this new trainer was like, "Dude has no fundamentals." So basically, Jake Paul has been learning how to box for real and for actual. He finally got a team that wasn't just like talking nonsense to him, telling him what he wants to hear. He got someone who told him the truth and is rebuilding this kid from the ground up. So there's no denying that he's put the time and the effort in to actually be a good boxer. Yes, his opponents have been random as hell, for sure, and not the most qualified guys. Like, any of them can beat me up, but when you're in potential, real competition, there's obviously levels to it, and he's been taking easy fights for sure, but he has been fighting and he has been training. He's in incredible shape. He's got the best team around him in the world. He's in the prime, his physical prime. Mike Tyson is clearly past his prime. And then obviously I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think all the Jake Paul fights are rigged. I don't know how to prove it. I don't know if there's even really evidence to back it up. I think, but just the gut feeling is like, is he really knocking all these guys down? And again, he could knock me down, but I'm not trying to be a boxer. Obviously, I don't want to fight him. He would beat me. It's just, he's a better boxer than someone who doesn't box at all. And he's in incredible shape. So, that's a huge part of it as well. But it's an interesting dilemma because it's hard to imagine anyone knocking Mike Tyson down or out. It's very hard. And it's really hard to imagine people withstanding his punches. Like, I guess that's the thing, is if Mike Tyson lands, I think it's going to absolutely devastate Jake Paul. I think it's just going to completely send him into he's never been hit that hard. That famous saying, I think it's Mike Tyson's, like, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. It's like, I don't think Jake Paul's ever been legit punched by one of the greatest punchers. So that's going to change things. And in that moment, that's after Mike Tyson hits Jake Paul, that's the moment where Jake Paul either finds greatness or failure, is in that moment. Because if he takes that punch and eats it, that's going to be crazy. And also mentally, I know Mike Tyson is tough, but if Mike Tyson hits somebody and doesn't see, it's hard to imagine him having mental cracks. It's not easy to imagine, but he's a human being, and human beings experience things. So there is a chance that he could experience feeling rocked and rocked emotionally. Like the fact that his punches aren't having this huge effect on someone. That could be a thing, dude. So I don't know. Of course, if I was betting and I'm not, I would put my money on Mike Tyson just because it's impossible to see him losing. But also, I think these fights are rigged, and I don't know. I simply don't know. But then it's like, why would Mike Tyson take a rigged fight? He's got too much pride and too much money, so he doesn't need the money from a dive. Like, every other opponent has arguably needed money from a dive, and you can see the financial, motivation to it. And financial is obviously a bigger motivator than moral. Like, clearly, people will do literally whatever for money. It's well documented that money is the greatest motivator of all time. So, yeah, I don't believe anyone's too proud to take a punch, a real punch, and then fake getting knocked out. Or just getting knocked down for anywhere from any really amount of money, depending on how bad in debt you are. I would take a fake punch for $20,000 right now just to wipe out the credit card debt. Are you kidding me? I mean, a real punch. I would take a real punch for $10,000 right now just to knock out some of the debt. Okay, I don't care. I'm just trying to get rid of that debt, dog. I'll do whatever it takes. So the money is on Mike Tyson, and The other thing that could happen, though, there's a non-zero chance, bro, that Jake Paul hits Mike Tyson and he just dies. Like, he is old enough that it could happen. It could also go the other way, where Mike Tyson hits Jake Paul and Jake Paul dies. Either of them could die in this fight, for sure. One from old age and one from just having a glass jaw and getting hit by a freight train. Anything can happen. But if Jake Paul kills Mike Tyson, you better believe he's going to monetize it right away. He's going to be the guy who's like, he's going to have a drink called Tyson Killers. That's just going to have so much caffeine. He's going to have a line of edibles called Tyson Killers. Like, he's going to rebrand himself as the Tyson Killer. I Killed Mike Tyson t-shirts will hit Walmart instantly. It's Jake Paul's going to have a deal with Walmart, and he's going to sell I Killed Mike Tyson t-shirts, and there's going to be a child walking around with an I Killed Mike Tyson t-shirt. It would be insane. If Mike Tyson killed Jake Paul, I think the only issue would be the ear damage that everyone in the arena would have when everyone just screamed, "Let's go! Thank God, finally!" at the top of their lungs. I think that would be the main issue, is people would lose their voice from screaming, "Yes!" too much. And that's not to say I want that to happen, obviously. But I think Jake Paul is incredibly hated by enough people that, like, his death would be celebrated. And then there are people who, like, you can't make jokes about Jake Paul's death. It's insensitive. He just died. And it's like, yeah, I mean, sometimes when people die, it makes people happy. And I don't think it should happen. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just kind of, I guess, noticing what I see online and realizing there's a lot of hatred for this guy. Some of it definitely earned, like, he has an annoying personality and brand, but I think there's also just a level that people just think he's a fun guy to hate on. Like, it's kind of easy to hate on him. And there's a world where Jake Paul grows and changes. Obviously, everyone is capable of that. I don't know if he has the incentives, because I think the way he's acting, his life's going pretty good. So I don't know if it's kind of hard to tell someone with all this success that they should act differently. That's very tough. So obviously, I hope it's just a good, clean fight. I think the best outcome, the most satisfying outcome, would be Mike Tyson first round KO. I think everyone would. That's kind of what we want to see. That's what we're tuning in to see. I guess the best case scenario, the most net positive outcome of this fight, the truly serendipitous ending to this fight would be, I don't know how long the fight's supposed to be, but if it's 8 rounds, it goes to whatever the last round is. Both fighters are Jake Paul fights well but gets knocked out at the end is the best case scenario, I think, to make everyone happy. Mike Tyson's still a legend. Everyone can be like, yeah, you can't beat the champ. He's the greatest. You were dumb for thinking you could. All that. But at the end of the day, Jake Paul lasted 8 rounds with Mike Tyson. And that would also be impressive and would also definitely, like, legitimize him as a boxer. He went 8 rounds with Mike Tyson. Who's he going to be afraid of? And then he's a great boxer, and like that happens. People can become really good at stuff. I think it's also motivating. That's like, listen, dude, if you want to switch it up and just get really good at something out of nowhere, don't let anything stop you. You can just start trying to do stuff and get better at it, and it'll be awesome. So yeah, definitely try. That's like me with snowboarding right now, dude. I'm trying to get so good this year. I'm so hyped. I can't wait. I'm about to get that Icon Pass in the mail, dude. Let's go. All right, next clickbait topic. Maybe this is what I decided to tune in for. Actually, I think the name of the title is "Who Would Win in a Fight, Jake Paul or Zach Bryan?" Maybe that's kind of clickbaity, right? That's pretty good clickbait. People might tune in for that. Zach Bryan, dude, he's getting cooked right now, and it sucks. I was such a big fan, and still am, of his musical output. And yeah, his music's not for everybody. I get it. But I think it's country, like the flavor of country with the writing that you don't usually see. Like, I'm not a huge modern country fan at all. I listen to like mostly rap and then like really groovy stuff, and then I listen to a lot of stuff. I'm all over the place. Chappell Roan, I'm huge on right now. I've been enjoying Sabrina Carpenter. My girlfriend's getting me way more into like pop music than I've been to. I don't know. I suddenly just opened up to having a good time and not judging it. So that's been a lot of fun. And Zach Bryan, like if you don't know him, I don't know how. I feel like most people know him at this point, but he had a really cool story. He blew up just by like writing songs on posting the video on Twitter, and he writes like really deep country songs for the most part. Some of them are love songs, some of them are, I don't know. Yeah, but he puts a lot of feeling and emotion, and I think some criticisms have been that like most of his songs sound the same, and I think that's a fairly fair criticism, but also I like how it sounds, so I'm cool with it. I'm cool with him just making it over and over again. So I'm a huge fan, but the thing is, he got into a relationship with this girl. Her name's Brianna Chicken Fry online, and then her real name is Brianna like LaPaglia or something like that. LaPaglia maybe? I don't know how to pronounce it. But she's a personality at Barstool Sports, and she has a podcast there, and she just kind of like blew up online. I don't actually really know her timeline or much about her. I had seen her loosely, and then she started dating Zach Bryan, and because she was dating Zach Bryan, and I was a huge fan of him, I became more aware of her. And so I don't really know much about her in general other than she's dated Zach Bryan and is a personality at Barstool Sports. But anyways, they've been breaking up, and she posted a video and then recently a podcast where she just like completely talked about how controlling and like a jealous, weird guy Zach Bryan is, and told these stories of him like getting upset that she was singing a Morgan Wallen song in his house. He was upset. He like was throwing her phone against the wall. I mean, the full podcast is fascinating. It is extremely, like, I don't want to say credible, but it is. I mean, it's very credible. It doesn't seem like a cash grab, and she talked about, like, the whole, his whole team tried to, like, silence her, and they offered her, like, $12 million to never talk about it again, sign an NDA, and she was like, no, because she's already successful on her own, and she talked about it, and it felt like she was really holding back, too. It felt like there was other stuff, and she was just, like, not out to ruin his life in a real way, even though she has been incredibly hurt by him. So, I mean, I think she showed restraint. That was what I was looking for. I think she showed restraint and obviously, like, told stuff so that it was real and, and just kind of just to show that she's not crazy, because that's the biggest thing is, like, people, when something happens to somebody, a lot of people call them crazy, like alien abductions and stuff. People call you crazy right away, and the more facts and truth you can bring into it, the more people believe you. And I mean, I for sure 100% believe it, and it's just really, really a bummer because I like his music, and I'm honestly really bad at separating the artist from the art. If an artist has done something upsetting, I will always think about it when I'm listening to their music. Like Kanye West is a great example. Obviously, he's gone really off the deep end lately, but he has some hits that are incredible. But I can't like fully enjoy it the way. There's always a tinge of like, damn, this is crazy. It is nice that Spotify doesn't pay their artists because I feel no guilt. I'm not giving them any money. Thank God. Spotify's only paying them a penny, so I don't have to feel bad about this. I can still listen to it. But it's like, it's tinged with stuff, man, when you know that the dude's kind of a dick. And I mean, it doesn't stop me. He's also not a criminal, right? Like, nothing criminal happened, but, it sucks to hear about somebody that you like and respect is less than, is not the type of person that you want them to be. But I guess, that's always how it's going to be. And it also just sucks. No, here's what it is. This will take me a second to articulate, probably because of the dab. Here's how I actually feel about it. It's tough to see the tangible pain that someone that you enjoy and respect and look up to and like, you like their music and stuff. It's tough to look at the person that they hurt and see like the real human pain that person caused. It's like, that sucks. Like seeing it in an abstract or whatever, you're like, oh yeah, okay, things have two sides, but then when you see that one side and that one side is really bad, it's definitely frustrating. So that's a real bummer. He's getting cooked online. But again, he's talented. He's not a criminal, and there is a chance that he grows, and maybe this is the thing. Probably it might take a little bit more, but hopefully this could be something that's really eye-opening to him, and then maybe he can have accountability and grow, and that would be really inspiring to see somebody admit that they messed up and be like, okay, listen, I did mess up, but it's not completely the end of the world here. I can put real work in and recognize that I was a problem and change. Like, that's possible for most people. Once you commit a bunch of crimes, though, it's kind of like we got to see that behind bars. You do have to go away. You got to take a time out from society because you're a menace. So I don't think that argument applies to like every situation, but I think it applies to the Zach Bryan situation specifically because there's no real crime. It's just generally being an asshole and being controlling and some emotional abuse for sure, it seemed, which is not good at all. But again, it's something that there are programs and ways that you can rehab and feel better. And we hope that that's what happens. We hope that he, keeps making great music. And he is. He put out 2 songs. They were great. I loved them. He's back to bangers already. And that's also upsetting. He's not even skipping a beat. He's got bangers locked in. But he's good at music. It doesn't mean he's good at being a person. But he is good at music. And so there's that. Don't date him. Don't date him. But maybe listen to him. And I was thinking about dating him. And I think that's why I'm kind of hurt too. Because I'm like, damn. I would have dated Zach, but now no. And I don't know if I really would have dated Zach. I think I'm 100% straight. And also, I think I think I'm 100% straight, but I know I'm in a monogamous relationship. So there's no one can jump in here. Doors are closed. Doors are closed and locked, and there's an angry Italian woman with a knife defending them. So we are not open for business. Even Zach Bryan. I don't think I'd be allowed to date him. So he's off the table. And yeah, I'm heartbroken. Whatever. Sometimes you go through stuff. Okay, dude. This episode is unhinged, bro. This has to be the most unhinged episode I've done. Shout out to Dabs. Shout out to Dabs for just taking me into the weirdest zone. This is the weirdest zone of all time that I'm in. This is one of those episodes where, like, as I'm recording it, I'm like, dude, should I put this out or is this too weird? But we do it. We put it out because at the end of the day, the whole point of the podcast is to try to be as much myself as possible. And then if you like that, cool, stick around. If you don't, that's fine too. So I am not really filtering or censoring. I'm just trying to be as me as I can be. And that might annoy people. It might make people angry. But I don't know. Really, no one is listening right now. That's the thing. There's only a couple of you, and I appreciate every single one of you. But I think there's about 5 people that are consistently listening, and I really appreciate and respect you for that. So thank you. Lowers the stakes, though, for sure. I feel like I can just say, and that's how you get in trouble. But I don't think I'm going to get in trouble because at my core, I don't know. And if I did, I would just apologize and be like, yo, my bad. I was trying something and it didn't work. Oops. Okay, cool. Let's do the daily check-in, bro. How am I feeling today? I know it's late for the daily check-in, but I had to get through the clickbait parts. So thank you. If I clickbaited you, let me know down below. And if you were upset, I'm going to apologize right here. I'm sorry for clickbaiting you. I'm trying to get more views and appeal to more people, and also make sure that the people that do follow me see it too. Because sometimes you'll post stuff and it's like the people that follow you don't see it. So listen, we got to do clickbait. Who would win in a fight? Zach Bryan or Jake Paul? I didn't even answer that. I didn't even answer the clickbait. My bad. It would be Jake Paul. I mean, he's simply just, Zach Bryan would put up a hell of a fight, and it would be a good fight, but I think just, you can only do so much with raw talent. Oh, no, wait, dude. Zach Bryan was in the Navy, bro. Which, yeah, I mean, that's not as intimidating as if he was in the Marines or the Army, But it's still legitimate military service, and he's still trained, and so he does have fighting technique. If Mike Tyson gets hurt again, sub in Zach Bryan. Let's see a Zach Bryan Jake Paul fight. That could be fun. That's tough too. Emotionally, I mean, in a street fight, it would be Zach Bryan every day. In a street fight, Zach Bryan, 100%. Zach Bryan would beat Jake Paul in the street easily. But in a ring with rules and everything, big gloves and stuff, I think just based on technique, Jake Paul would end up winning. But I think there's a chance. I'd say it's like 75-25. There's a 75% chance Jake Paul wins. There's a 25% chance Zach Bryan just is able to land like 3 shots in a row that just rock Jake Paul. The height difference would be crazy. I think Zach Bryan is 5'8", and Jake Paul's 6'2". So we're again forgetting that. And again, in a street fight, I think there's a tenacity to Zach Bryan. And the whole Navy thing, I think, would really lend to his street fighting, but I don't think it would help him at all in the ring with big gloves and stuff. So I'm going to have to say Jake Paul would beat Zach Bryan in a fight, I think. Yeah. All right, that's my answer. Okay, Dailyo. Oh, wait, whatever app I'm using. Okay, time for the daily check-in. Boom, 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 boom. Dude, I'm rad today. I feel really good. I woke up. I was so relaxed and just fucking chilled. And then now, bam. Happy, excited, grateful, relaxed, content. Ready to go, dude. Recording this podcast with enough time to get it up and ready to go. All right, now we have our 3 positive news stories to just give you a little bit of stoke and a little bit of hope to move you through your week. First one, study raises, and I'll also look at how sick. I've got it on the laptop now. No more in the phone, baby. Bow, bow, bow. Moving up. I'll be able to read it better because it's bigger. I'm getting old. All right. Study raises hopes of treating aggressive cancers by identifying fragments of rogue DNA. Very cool. A breakthrough in understanding how and why some cancer tumors are particularly aggressive and non-responsive to treatments has placed blame on breakaway strands of roguish DNA. So these DNAs are off to do their own thing, and their thing is cause damage, and they've discovered that. And they've learned about it. And so now, at the center of the discovery is something called extrachromosomal external from the chromosome. Extrachromosomal. Eventually, I got there. Extrachromosomal. External from the chromosome DNA, or ecDNA for short. Sequences of our genetic coding are wrapped tightly around histones with the help of 23 pairs of chromosomes. Oh, sorry if you fell asleep during that. My bad. Wake up. Yeah, so they figured it out. They were looking into it, and this is a new thing that they can treat. Which is very exciting because obviously cancer has affected all of our lives. We all know someone who's died of cancer, and if you don't, excellent and incredible. What diseases do you deal with, aliens? Let me know. DM me, aliens. I've gotten 0 DMs from aliens so far, so I feel like you guys aren't listening, but maybe, come on, pick it up. Listen to me, all right? Here's a fascinating one. NHL team owner is giving $50,000 to every employee, sharing the profit from sale of his stake in the franchise. Are you serious right now, dude? That's crazy. In October, word broke that the owner of the NHL team representing Tampa Bay, the Lightning, was selling up. Millions were coming his way via a pair of money managers from New York set to take over during the next 3 years. The affair seemed like business as usual, but Lightning owner Jeff Vinik is anything but usual, and in an email that was both a surprise and not a surprise, he informed the 300 full-time employees of the Jeff Vinik Sports Group that they would be sharing in his profits. That's crazy. So he's going to take $20 million and pass it out as farewell bonuses based on how long you've been there and stuff like that. The minimum is $50K. Some people are getting more. That's awesome. That's so awesome it makes me suspicious, but I'm not going to go there. I'm gonna believe this is all on the up and up and that it's good and he's doing it for good reasons. But either way, good people, 300 people who've worked hard are getting legitimate compensation. Okay, maybe for the first time in their lives. But that's awesome. But although he's probably paying them well already, because if he's this generous now, he's probably been generous the whole time. So that's awesome for those people. Maybe it's time we get jobs in hockey. That could be the move. All right, this next one is fascinating. to me at least. Maybe you'll think it's fascinating. This is going to be the first time I read like the whole article. And this is from goodnewsnetwork.org. Let's credit the author because this is pretty good stuff. Andy Corbley wrote this article, okay? And bro, this was so fascinating. Life savings of an entire small town recovered from the depths of crypto scam thanks to the FBI. I'm not usually a big fan of the FBI historically, but good job on them on this one. Life savings is serious. That'll throw people into emotional, financial chaos, bro. A Wichita courtroom rang out with sobs and cheers when over 24 people learned that their life savings had been recovered after being lost by a local bank. Over $8 million in children's university funds, retirement accounts, funds for elder care, and bequeathments to children and grandchildren were returned after the FBI located and seized a cryptocurrency wallet linked to an account in the Cayman Islands. The bank's founder, Shan Haynes. First of all, Shan is a ridiculous name. It's like an incomplete name. They left off the N. It should be Shane, but it's Shan, S-H-A-N, Shan. I don't think I'm trusting any of my money to anybody named Shan. No, offense, Shan. Claims he had unintentionally lost it. My bad, guys. I accidentally lost the money. Shut up, Shan. You did that on purpose. He had unintentionally lost it all by investing in a sophisticated cryptocurrency scam. Though he ultimately lost his defense, idiot, and received 24 years in prison for defrauding depositors and investors. Yeah, I'm sorry. The moron defense isn't going to work today, buddy. In August, Heartland Tri-State Bank was put into receivership by federal regulators after being drained of cash. The FDIC paid out $47 million to everyday depositors and other investors, but the rural community-owned bank had 30 shareholders who had carefully planned long-term accounts that were not insured. Why isn't it insured? Bro, you got to get insurance on your money. You got to pay money to keep your money safe. You got to pay money to get money back. Dude, why wasn't it insured? You got to answer that. Last Monday in Judge John W. Broom's courtroom, the shareholders were told one by one that they were going to be made entirely whole again after the FBI's Financial Crimes Division located the cryptocurrency account linked to Tether Ltd, where their savings had been moved. The AP reported that the shareholder Margaret Grice came to the court that day figuring she'd get $1,000 back. Instead, she'd recovered almost $250,000, her entire 401k. Let's go, dude. I'm just really, really thrilled, and I can breathe. Yeah, I would feel like I was drowning. I do, because I don't have money, so I get that totally. The shareholders were almost all Haynes' friends and neighbors, but that didn't stop him from putting millions of debt on the books in a pig butchering scam. Pig butchering that's incredibly insulting to call these people financial pigs, but what are you going to do? I didn't name the scam, don't get mad at me. Having gained his trust through WhatsApp communications. I don't even have WhatsApp, but apparently people getting scammed on it all the time. Scammers convinced Haynes to buy $5,000 in cryptocurrency. What were the texts? Nah, dude, for real, it's a good idea. How could you be convinced over text? All right, whatever. That's on him for getting convinced over text, bro. If someone can convince you of something over text, you should not be in charge of other people's anything. Haynes eventually spent $60,000 belonging to his local church, $10,000 from a local investment club, and $60,000 from his daughter's college fund. I mean, in his defense, he's full in, even using his daughter's money. So that makes me, yeah, he did get tricked for sure. He thought it was real. Or did he just use the $60,000 of his own money to make it seem like it was real? But really, he's going to be rich. In prison for 24 years, but he'll have... Do they accept cryptocurrency? Can I put Ethereum on his books? Is the United States prison system accepting cryptocurrency yet? Or no? Probably not. Before making 11 separate transfers totaling $47 million. The entire deposit value of the bank over a series of weeks. Holy shit. Haynes' defense stated that the money was being put up in order to close the account and cash out on what appeared to be close to 400% returns, but instead the money was jettisoned into the ether. That's a huge red flag. Hey, yeah, we'll give you the money, but first give us $47 million so then we can give you the money. Why do I gotta give you money so you can give me money? If I give you money and you give me money, I know for a fact I'm getting my money back to me. That makes no sense. Ironically, Haynes had been a longtime advocate of community-owned and operated banks and the necessity of these local institutions in protecting Americans from the shark-infested waters of international investment markets. He's not wrong there. It is safer to have it in a smaller bank. That's true. Sometimes, and then other times, this happens. He even testified before Congress. He even testified before congressional banking and finance committees on the topic. However, an investigation from the Federal Reserve revealed that it was exactly this community aspect, and it was exactly his prominent role in the culture of banks that disarmed Heartland employees who might have otherwise detected the fraudulent activity. Heartland employees circumvented the bank's internal controls and policies. Following those internal controls and policies may have prevented or detected the alleged fraudulent activity, the report read. We believe the CEO's dominant role in the bank and prominent role in the community contributed to a reluctance on the part of the Heartland employees to question or report the alleged fraudulent activities earlier. This dude was so chill, people were like, nah, it's fine. It's fine. Dude, Shan's in charge of it. You imagine saying, nah, it's cool, Shan's got it. No. Shan is an untrustworthy name right from the beginning. Prosecutors argued that even if Haynes was just the first of the scam's many victims, he knowingly broke both customer agreements, and federal banking regulations, when he began transferring deposits and investors' funds into the scam account. I just can't describe the weight lifted off of us, said local shareholder Bart Carinelli. It's life-changing. Wow. That's insane. I'm glad they got all the money back. Man. That's awesome. And if they got all the money back, why does he have to do 24 years? I guess just to disincentivize him from doing it again? I don't know. But, hey, that's the good news. They got all the money back. Let's go. Aliens, what kind of cryptocurrency are you rolling around with? Do you use, knowledge as money? What is your money? We got to delve into that. We got to figure out what aliens use as currency. All right, I've got a show this weekend on Saturday in Los Angeles. Please come to it. I'm very stressed. No tickets sold. I'm going to send 400 DMs. Everybody that responded to my story that they live in Los Angeles is getting a link to the show today. I'm going to send 400 DMs, maybe more. Boots on the ground, baby. Thumbs in the DMs. We're going crazy today trying to get people to come out to the show. So if you live in Los Angeles, you have friends that live in Los Angeles, please have them come to the show. It's going to be a good time. Tickets are 2 for $1. 2 for $9. It's going to be cheap. It's going to be a great vibe. I got hilarious people on the lineup. I'm doing stand-up. It's going to be awesome. Please come to the show. Sign up for that email list so that you know. Because I already sent it out to the email list, so they already know. So you got to sign up too. Yeah, man. Happy this episode's going to be out on time. Stay stoked and don't crash those spaceships.